Well, for many of us, we live and breathe by our smartphones. There aren't many hours that go by without picking it up and checking who texted, called, or sent an email. I know I'm guilty of it.
I keep mine handy. Many of us even depend on a smartphone for scheduling our busy lives. But could that phone actually be putting us in danger? Well, one man says yes. In fact, 25-year-old Manolo Rodriguez says it happened to him. He says he was dropping off donations at a Goodwill when he felt something burning in his pocket. The next thing he knew, there were smoke, flames, and an explosion. He says his Samsung Galaxy 4S blew up.
The ground was burnt, and then my jacket's left pocket from the top was like burnt, and then the phone had like slid down from there to like the next pocket and burnt to that one too.
Manolo says the explosion also burnt his chest, lips, and 2 of his fingers. He's hired an attorney hoping his case will cause Samsung to make some changes. Samsung says it's not commenting until it investigates. Well, phones can be helpful, but it's stories like that that make you wonder if they're also harmful.
Exactly. I know one thing, they can certainly be annoying. You know what I'm talking about? You get home and right as you're about to sit down to dinner, the phone rings. On the other line is a telemarketer or a robocall with a recording. And for many of us, these calls go beyond our home phone. They are now popping up on our cell phones. And despite many of these calls being illegal, they keep on coming. But there are ways to avoid these calls altogether.
They're obnoxious.
Hello.
Frustrating. And seemingly never-ending. Robocalls are a byproduct of the technological age we live in. But did you know ones to your cell phone are illegal? Yet they still happen. Here are 2 ways to avoid robocalls altogether. First, register with the National Do Not Call list. This database of numbers is maintained by the Federal Trade Commission, and telemarketers are required by law to subscribe. You can sign up for free at donotcall.gov. Next is a program called No More Robo. It works by splitting an incoming call, allowing No More Robo to analyze where the call is coming from and how many numbers it's recently called. If any of these red flags are raised, the call is immediately disconnected before your phone even rings. Simple ways to help avoid those illegal phone calls.
Now, No More Robo was the winner of a Federal Trade Commission contest to develop the best anti-robocall idea.
Well, still ahead on Delmarva Life, not all home improvement projects improve the resale value of your house. We find out which ones you might want to skip if you plan on selling anytime soon. Plus, we get advice on some low-cost projects that could actually boost the selling price.
And later, if you're not careful in this room, you could put your entire family in danger. We'll look at some everyday kitchen items that need special attention in order to keep your family safe.
Well, one concern is salmonella poisoning from chicken. And with the recent national salmonella outbreak, you may be wondering how to avoid getting sick. We'll tell you. And while we're talking about staying healthy, Dr. Oz says there are 3 numbers you need to know about yourself. He has more.
We have so many numbers swimming around in our brain. Phone numbers, PIN numbers, the number of characters in a tweet. Sorry, but here are 3 more. The first is waist size. Place a tape measure across your belly button and keep it parallel to the floor. This number should be no more than half your height in inches. For a woman, that's usually about 32 inches, and for guys, roughly 35 inches. Blood pressure. This is the pressure pushing against your arteries. The top number should be less than 120, and the bottom number less than 80. So 115/75 is a great target. And blood sugar, a fasting blood glucose can tell you if you're at risk for diabetes. We'd like to see that number lower than 100. These are 3 numbers you need to know. If you can't understand it, you can't fix it. So follow along.